So this is our food routine for the day. Kimberly gets 1 cup twice a day, so 1 in the morning and 1 at night. And I'll leave a cup holder here, little measuring cup here, and this is going to be her food. We just spilled her food on the floor, so we're just going to let her eat that. But yeah, it's a cup at night and a cup in the morning. Doesn't really matter what time, either one. I would say no later in the morning than 9:30, 9:30 or 10. 10 would be the latest because Kimberly will have to go to the bathroom. And I guess it all depends on when you come at night too. We usually don't close the doors till 10 p.m. so I'm sure you're not going to come that late. So I guess just kind of vary it based off of like no longer than 12 hours. Because then she might pee. The cat. Buddy just eats whenever he wants to. That's Buddy's bowl. Kimberly will sometimes eat that as well. In the morning, just make sure that they have water in their bowl. The key with the cats is whenever you come in to close the door at night, because what we do is in the morning, you just come, feed them, open the door, leave it open all day. And then at night, just the key is Callie is likely going to be outside. And if she's not coming in, just shake her food. Like just pour it in a bowl and kind of shake it outside, and she'll come in, and then just make sure you close it at that point. It is cat food time. So there really isn't like a specific amount or a specific time when we feed them. We kind of just feed them whenever they're meowing and hungry. My suggestion would be maybe feed them a little bit in the morning. And what I mean by a little bit is I'll show you kind of what I do is like just a tiny amount just to get like a taste, just to get a taste of the food really. I wouldn't give them that much. And then it's at night that you want to feed them the most, because that's when you really want Callie to be hungry, because that's going to be the only way you're going to get her inside. It's because she's going to be hungry and you're going to shake the food and she's going to want to come in. So the cats have 2 different diets, and it's not going to be perfect. You know, they're going to eat each other's foods, but I really do try to get Katya to eat hers. This is going to be Katya's food. Hers will be in the bag. And I usually feed hers first. The bag's gonna be right here, under her bowl. And I usually feed her first. So, and you know, if she's not comfortable like going over there, for whatever reason, like if the dogs are harassing her or the cat, just, you can pick her up if she'll let you, and just place her on the windowsill and let her know that her food's here. And you can just feed her however much. You know, they're pretty good about self-regulating. I'm not too worried about them. Callie, her food's gonna be in this bin here. Same thing, just, I mean, I guess like a generous scoop. You know, I'll leave this scooper here for you. She doesn't want to eat right now. I don't really know why, but she'll go up there when she's ready. And then just so you know, Kimberly's food will be here. I will put a measuring cup for you here, measuring cup, because I don't see it. And just, you can pick it up here and then just scoop it into her thing. You already ate, Mama. So for the rats, I guess it just depends on your comfort level of, do you want to, like if at night they're more active, so you're probably going to have more like them trying to get out at night. So I would feed them in the morning if you don't want them crawling all over you. And for them, kind of the same thing. I don't really give them a specific amount. I just kind of fill their bowl, and whatever they don't eat, they hide. So usually usually their food bowl is going to be at the bottom. You can see it here because they drop it. And so you just open this here, this little latch. And then here's their food. It's going to be right here. You can either feed them this one here, which is like a little kibble, and you can give them some of this as well. I kind of try to mix it. It's not really, you know, super accurate, just until the bowl's full, really. That's kind of what it looks like, a full bowl of food. You can place the food wherever. I used to put it right here, which is also fine. I might move the litter up here, and then you can put it right here next to their water. That way they're just not sitting in their own pee and poop while they're eating. And that's not their fault. It's kind of mine for moving their litter box. This is their water. Typically, you don't have to feed this, and this is kind of how I'm like taking it off. Typically, you don't have to fill this up every day. Like twice a day is probably good enough. Every other day is probably good enough. But you can kind of check it and see. There's a little like floating indicator in there that I will show you. So you can kind of just quickly look at it to see where the water level is. And I fill it in just a tap water in the bathroom. There's a little turtle floating thing in there if you can't see the water line for whatever reason. So yeah, they're pretty easy. And then you just kind of stick it wherever here that you think is an appropriate spot. I don't have like a particular thing. And just kind of hook up these wire pieces. I don't know why it's giving me such a hard time. Okay, and then just latch it like that. And they're good to go. They only get fed once a day. Fish time. Everybody's gonna get a tank clean in the morning, so everything's gonna be fresh and filled and everything. We can start with these guys. The light will automatically turn on and off. So you don't have to worry about that. I think it turns off around 8 or 9. So, you know, it's probably, they're not that picky, to be honest. You can feed them whenever. So I would start with this one. It's kind of like fish flakes. So let me open that up and I'll show you how much to put in there. You've had fish before. I know you know what to do with them. Obviously, you don't want to put too much in there because it will irritate or it will cause issues with the water. So, I mean, probably just like that amount and just sprinkle it here and they'll come up whenever. There's one. I definitely would, if you're doing these flakes, I would do it during the day because they can't see the flakes as well as the pellets. So maybe, you know, do it in the morning. And I also like to put like 2 or 3 of these guys in there for the catfish because they oftentimes just don't get enough. So just dunk that in there and they'll find it. So now the goldfish, they're pretty easy. We have 2 foods for them and you can choose which one, it doesn't really matter. It's gonna be in their little area here. Their light turns on and off as well, so don't worry about that. There's 2. They only get fed once a day as well. And let me show you what I do. Just kind of sprinkle enough in there for them. Right now, if you look at it and you look kind of concerned, here, I'll show you how much I put. Just kind of drop it in there and they'll go for it. Either one, you can give them and they'll be happy. And I kind of give them quite a lot actually because they're goldfish. And I also, because I have a pleco in here, I like to try to stick some like in the rocks so that she can find them and she doesn't have to compete so much with the goldfish. Yeah, so if you look at one of them, there is a spot on his head. but that's normal. He's growing into his cap, his wen. So don't be concerned if you see a white dot on him. That is normal. So yeah, that's that guy, or those guys. Their light goes off around the same time as this other tank, and they don't really care when you feed them either. Out of everybody, she's the most complicated. So let me show you, I guess, what's going on here. All right, so I am going to leave this dish here. This is her feeding bowl. It's just our little Tupperware. So she doesn't tend to like this bit very much, but at this point she's so tiny, I don't know what else to do to make sure she's getting fed. So what I do is I kind of just try to slowly, gently catch her and put her in this bowl to be fed. And so just, you know, fill the water up. So let's try to catch her. There she is. She likes to hide in these rocks. Her light does not come on at all. And don't worry about that. She doesn't like the light very much. So the light is really just for our purposes. I'm sorry, Mama. It's best to scoop her up when she floats to the top, because, there she is. Because it's just easier to catch her. All right, so we put her in this bowl here, and then we feed her live worms. Let me get the paper towels. So she's one of those animals that I just kind of feed her until she can't eat anymore. And so I'm gonna leave these paper towels over there, and there's multiple ways to do this. I just find this to be a little bit, like, I've just found this to be the easiest. Thankfully you're not squeamish because these are live. So here we go. What I do is I just kind of take a paper towel, scrunch it up into like a little square, and here is our worm farm. And so you take this little turkey baster and you just kind of squeeze it and you run it across the bottom here, and you should be able to see a lot of black worms squirming around. So what I do at that point, it's kind of hard to do. Oh, sorry. Let me see if I can do this at the same time. What I do at this point, and I'm sure you can't really see it, I hold it with one hand, and I kind of just try to like get the water out slowly and like catch all the worms in the paper towel. That should be a good amount. And the reason for that is just because they're kind of hard to catch. So here are our worms. Okay, here we go. And then I'm gonna leave these tweezers. Everything will be down like here on the floor, because you're gonna have to go down here. I think it's just easiest. So you grab a little wormy, and she is very ready and very aggressive. She knows that this means food. So just kind of dangle it. Oh, she already got it. Just kind of dangle it in front of her face, and she'll go after it. So I think she got it. Yeah, okay, I know you're hungry. So again, just kind of grab however much you get into this little bit, and then bring it down here again for her. And like I said, see how aggressive she is? They're not very good at seeing, so this is kind of why you have to feed her like this. So yeah, don't be afraid if she grabs onto the tweezers. She's just really hungry usually. Okay. All right, here you go. And there's really no like amount of, like, I'm not worried about overfeeding her. She's still growing quite a lot, so she's looking for more. You can kind of judge at that point. You got it? It's really hard to grab these worms when they're on the bottom of the glass. That's why I don't just kind of throw them in there, because one, she's blind, kind of, not really blind, but it's just hard for her to see. And It's just easier to grab them from this paper towel and dangle it in front of her, just like that. Okay, okay, okay. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the axolotl. I'll show you how I put her back in just a minute. Let me finish feeding her. I'll show you how to put her back. There's Callie being nosy. If you can, you don't have to. And in fact, you probably, honestly, I guess I don't really care that much about the worms. Just like kind of put that back in there like that if you can, if you're not too grossed out by it. Because, you know, they're not cheap. And that's her food. So, let me straighten it out. That's usually what I do. So, what I'll do is I'll pick her up in the bowl. She is very full, super adorable, and I'll just stick her right there for right now. And instead of putting her back in the net, because to be honest, she doesn't really like the net, what I'll do is I'll just kind of gently stick my hand in here like this and kind of scoop her to the edge, and she might bite a little bit, but shouldn't do it too much. She's being a little bit feisty right now. So gently pick her up and then cuff her and just like place her in here like that, and she'll go off. And that is it. I don't put this water back in there because it's full of, you know, yuck. So just pour it back into the worm bucket there. And that is it. Thank you.